All right, let's shift our focus now. In a rare meeting, the Chinese President Xi Jinping hosted Taiwan's main opposition party leader in Beijing. Cheng Li-wun is the KMT's first sitting leader to visit China in a decade. Xi and Cheng shook hands in front of journalists at Beijing's Great Hall of the People, where Chinese leaders have traditionally received high-profile guests. Both the leaders stated their opposition to Taiwan's independence and expressed a desire for a peaceful resolution to the long-running dispute over the island's future.
The world today is far from peaceful, and peace is all the more precious for it. People on both sides of the strait are all Chinese, members of the same family. The shared aspiration is for peace, development, exchange, and cooperation. The meeting is precisely to safeguard the peace and stability of our common home.
Xi Jinping said that he's willing to work with all political parties in Taiwan to foster peaceful relations. But Beijing has refused to hold formal dialogue with the Taiwanese president, Lai Ching-te, whom he has labeled as a separatist. Lai has repeatedly committed to maintaining the status quo in cross-strait relations. But remember, Chinese authorities and the state media have heaped bitter rhetoric against him, calling him a troublemaker and a warmonger. Cheng, in her public remarks, has called a peace mission to reduce tensions at a time when Beijing has stepped up military pressure against the island territory. She in fact highlighted that we cannot allow Taiwan and the Taiwan Strait to descend into a battlefield.
To establish sustainable mechanisms for dialogue and cooperation so that the peaceful development of cross-strait relations becomes irreversible and all underlying causes of conflict are fundamentally eliminated.
2016, Beijing cut off high-level communication with Taiwan after the ruling Democratic Progressive Party's Tsai Ing-wen became president, citing her refusal to endorse the concept of a single Chinese nation. The DPP, remember, is among those who have criticized Cheng's trip, accusing her of being subservient to Beijing. This meeting comes ahead of a summit in Beijing with President Donald Trump, which is planned for May this year. Xi is likely to bring up his opposition to U.S. arms sales to Taiwan, which is a self-governing island that Beijing claims as its own territory, and in fact has refused to rule out taking it by force.